Last month, I created 3 rough designs for Fakemon starters based on the continent of Africa. In the last video, we went through my redesign of the grass starter and the creation of its evolutions, all based on honey badgers and beehives. So if you haven't seen that, I'd recommend you go watch it before this video. Today, we'll go through the same process for my water starter based on a hippo and Taweret, the Egyptian goddess of fertility. Wait! Before I begin, I'd really appreciate it if you would go visit my socials on Instagram and TikTok. I'm currently doing Fakemon commissions if anyone is interested. The intro will be much faster as, unlike my grass starter, the concept for this mon didn't need as much work. For this line, I really wanted to build off of the concepts that I had in the rough draft. As stated before, the line was meant to be based on Taweret, an Egyptian goddess. In Egyptian mythology, she represented childbirth and fertility, and was most commonly depicted with a hippo's head and a crocodile's tail, which I thought would be striking characteristics to incorporate into my designs. I chose Taweret to go with a running theme in modern starter trios, where one is depicted as the strong one, which I incorporated in my grass starter. One is seen as the cool one, which we'll cover in my fire starter video, and one that appears feminine, which obviously the water starter will represent. My grass starter also incorporated a motif of African hairstyles. I thought it'd be cool to make this a running theme of basing part of the design on an important aspect of African expression. So I loosely used African fashion as a motif in this line, but I ended up not being as blatant in the fashion inspiration as I was with the hair. Unlike the grass starter line, I started off by drawing my rough drafts all on the same canvas. In theory, this would help the line feel more connected in both pose and flow, which I felt was lacking in the last batch of Pokemon I made. I wanted each stage to represent a different period in life, with the first stage representing infants and toddlers, the middle stage the teenage years, and the final evolution representative of a fully realized adult. Creating the first stage, I really wanted to play into the annoying bratty toddler archetype. By crossing the arms and giving her big golden eyebrows, I was able to exaggerate this personality in a way I believe Pokemon would do themselves. I also changed the golden collar from the old design into one made of water to better sell the Pokemon's typing, and to add an element that I could evolve throughout the line. I actually ended up scrapping the rough design for the first stage, which I named Hip Out after Hippo and Pout. I realized the pose and proportions made it look more rodent adjacent, which wasn't my intention. Funnily enough, I ended up referencing Moodang, the baby hippo that was trending a while ago when I reposed and remodeled it. I also changed my line art from the last pieces where I had a really smooth brush that I used, but this one is way more toothy and textured, which I think adds a lot of energy to the drawings. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. To go along with the running theme from the last video for these drawings, I ended up teaching myself how to render a different texture. Last time it was honey, but this time I needed to learn how to render both water and gold for the eyebrows and the collar respectively. How do y'all think I did? I'm pretty proud of it, especially for my first attempt, but I can already see now that there's some areas that I need to improve on. Hipout, the bratty Pokemon. This Pokemon is notoriously difficult for young trainers to care for. It often bites its owner when it doesn't get its way. However, it always reluctantly heals the wound using the medicinal water it keeps around its neck. In the rough draft for Hipout's evolution Tonile, I had sketched it in such a pose to where it seemed like it was floating in order to really sell its theming. I wanted Tonile to look drifty or spacey, like how a lot of teenagers aren't sure of what they're going to become as they grow older. Initially, I had also added long cylindrical shapes to make the silhouette seem as if it had long flowing hair. I ended up changing this to two long ribbons that play the same role, but also evocative of the flowy clothing found in desert regions like Egypt, which helped show the inspirations for this line. I also enlarged the water collar, however it won't be clear what it is until the final evolution. Tonile, the drifter Pokemon. Upon evolution, Tonile seemingly develops a deeply introspective thinking pattern. Trainers of this Pokemon often report that it floats about in thought, unconsciously bumping into environmental hazards. With good direction and support from its trainer, Tonile can become a powerful and competent ally. I wanted the final evolution in the line to seem powerful but gentle, to really sell the maternal vibe I was looking for. Harkening back to the feminine vibe I wanted to give this Pokemon, I decided to challenge Pokemon's conventions by making her larger. Many feminine Pokemon are skinny and frail looking, which while helpful for an instant feminine vibe, doesn't encapsulate all of femininity. It was challenging to make her seem both monstrous and feminine, however, I think the expression really sells it. As you can see, I made the bubble of water expand to cover her whole head, which is representative of the large Muslim population found in modern-day Egypt. The ribbons I introduced in the design of Tonile also helped to make Deitide appear flowy and gentle. On a quick side note, it was very hard to make the bubble appear not phallic in the initial pose, but I think I managed to fix it. Deitide, the maternal Pokemon. Deep in the deserts of the Hatima region, it is common for those in danger to find oases that hold healing water. Young Pokemon are observed to grow faster at these locations than anywhere else. It's rumored that Deitide creates these oases when it senses anguish nearby. Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end. I really hope y'all enjoyed the video and the designs I presented today. Let me know if there's anything you think should be changed, as I do plan to redesign these guys and all of the starters after I fill out the Hatima region some more. As you heard in Deitide's Pokedex entry, I've decided that this Fakemon region should be named Hatima after the Swahili word for destiny. In the next video, we'll be redesigning the fire starter, and don't get mad, I'm going to have to change the concept. In order to fit in the type effectiveness triangle, the fire starter needs to be steel type. But fret not, I haven't scrapped the Fire Mantis concept. I don't know where I'll put him in the region, but I still love it and there's no way I'd abandon my son like that. Anyway, have a great day and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye!